these openers are always tough because you don't have a lot of game tape to go on, and teams now have more and more transfers, and you try to figure out where they fit in. But just what have you been able to piece together about Penn State's defense that you feel comfortable about?
Yeah, obviously, obviously they got a new defensive coordinator with Manny Diaz, so obviously having to study both what he's done and what Penn State has done makes it a little bit more complex when you're going into game one. You don't know exactly how they're going to fit all of those pieces together. So it's a process of trying to figure out exactly what we think they will do, what they've shown in the past, and try to piece it all together. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of adjustments once the game starts.
Are you happy with where Aiden's at here, stepping into game one?
Absolutely. I think Aiden's had a really good offseason, a really good camp. He's playing at a high level, and I look forward to seeing him play it out this year.
Do you remember him playing at Penn State a few years ago in his first game?
And he did get in. Yeah, he did get in.
How that all came about?
I do remember how it came about. We weren't playing the best, so we were getting smoked. But he got in there, and I think he completed his first pass versus them. So that's a pretty big time atmosphere to get your first action in, no doubt.
Right. In that game, I mean, and they have different personnel now, but just the pressure that they put on you guys. I think they sacked Jack 10 times in that game. Is that still a concern with them a little bit, with just the pressure that they put up on the defensive line?
They obviously got a lot of talent. I think they recruit at a high level. They got a high caliber of player. So anytime you go in versus Penn State, you know that you're going to be playing some high level athletes. So Coach Diaz has a history of bringing pressure. With the type of players they have, he's going to have a good chance to be able to do that versus a lot of opponents. So we got to be ready for pressure.
You always want to win your opener, obviously, but Brian, just speak to the magnitude of this one. It's a Big Ten game against one of college football's kind of glory programs. Mm-hmm. You got them at home, national TV, coming off a 9-win season. I mean, all that wrapped together. What do we mean?
Yeah, we always want to take it one game at a time. But yes, this is a big first game. I think if things go the right way on our side, I think it's a lot of momentum building up throughout the season. So I think you would see a lot of excitement and a lot of people excited to see the rest of the year. Either way, but I think if you come out with the victory, that first one, as you said, versus a high caliber opponent, that can start the momentum in the right way.
You like playing on Thursdays?
I don't mind it. When I was in college, I played a lot of times on Thursday. We were on Thursday night all the time, so I don't mind it. Especially when you have first game of the season, it makes it much better. When you have to come after a Saturday, it's a little more difficult.
Just how have the receivers looked the last couple of weeks?
They've done good. I think we got a lot of options at receiver. A lot of guys that have they've begun to pick it up. We're starting to get their rhythm with Aiden and with the offense. And it'll be fun to see who, when the lights come on, who's going to really show out.
How do you feel like they've, kind of handled the challenge of just kind of getting out there, having limited reps? I guess there's so many different guys at the receiver position that could potentially make an impact for you guys. How are they kind of managing different opportunities, different looks, making sure you guys are? Yeah,
it's been a little bit of a challenge with some of the guys and staying healthy and trying to keep everybody healthy and fresh. And we've had to, in camp do a lot of walkthroughs and a lot of learning on the board. So those guys did a good job. They stayed focused. They've, we do have a lot of volume on offense, so they've done a good job of learning and applying it to the field when they get out there.
Paul Perferi ready to be that number 2 tight end?
I think he is. I think Paul, he's had a really good camp, good offseason. He's an athletic guy, big guy, knows the offense. He can be a receiving threat, so we're excited to see what he can do.
I think last season Penn State, their secondary was a strong group for them on their defensive side of the ball. Obviously, if they have a strong secondary this season, it's kind of strength versus strength here, passing game against passing defense. Just what have you kind of seen from them, from what you've seen on film so far, and how some of those athletes kind of returning this season can kind of impact you guys?
I think top to bottom they got a pretty talented defense, and athletically they got a lot of guys on defense at Penn State. So it'll be a challenge for us as an offense, but I think we're up to that challenge. It'll be fun to see how those match up, as you talk about the secondary and the passing game, how those are going to match up, and it'll be a good litmus test for us, for week 1.
From a season-wide perspective, what are the expectations for this offense? I mean, obviously you got Aiden O'Connell returning, but then some question marks at passing core and all that. What are the expectations?
We got high expectations always for this offense. We want to be one of the top passing teams in the country every single year. We want to be one of the top scoring offenses, top total yards offenses. Those are always things we're looking at, and want to be explosive, creative, and find ways to get a lot of yards and score a lot of points.
Does it differ from previous years from this?
No, I wouldn't say so. We try to keep that same mindset every year.
Gotcha.